Shanti. Let's spend a few moments in awareness. Just sit still and spend a few minutes in the awareness of truth. Gently come to the awareness that I am the being and not the body. I am the being. I have the body. Take your attention to the being within. I, the soul, am a point, an energy, the thinking, experiencing being sitting behind the eyes of the body. See yourself a small star, a pure diamond sitting behind the eyes. This is my original form. This is my picture. This is how I look. I'm very beautiful. What is more beautiful than a star? Very light, made of light I am. Just see yourself, the beautiful, perfect, shining, radiant star. I ask myself, what is my quality? What is my nature? What am I made of? I am a being of peace. I'm made of peace. Peace is who I am. Peace is my original quality, my original design. Just get in touch with you, the being of peace. I'm a small star made of peace, radiating peace. This is my original form. This is my original quality. Now I ask myself, what is my original karam? I'm a peaceful being who has to operate in this world with peace. I have to move around all day, do everything, but anchored in peace. See yourself moving through the day, attending to everything and everyone, but with peace. Just sit in this realization of who you are. What is your quality? What is your design? And what is your karma? Spend a few moments in this awareness. Om Shanti. So, we need to always remember that whatever I do, whether I do it as something I want to do or whether I do it because somebody is forcing me to do that thing, or because I'm under somebody's influence, or I'm reacting to somebody's actions, nevertheless, I have to bear the consequences of what I do. Okay, so if you get angry because somebody around you is always provoking you or triggering you, that doesn't mean that if you get angry, they will get a blood pressure situation. If you get angry, you will suffer from blood pressure problem. And even if they provoke you, it is you who will bear the consequences of your reaction or your response. So even if you perform an action under provocation, or because something inside you is triggered, or because you're reacting to something, or somebody is forcing you or influencing you, nevertheless, it is your action. And there is no discrimination by the law of karma regarding actions that are performed under influence and pressure and actions that you perform by choice. This is why probably it is said you always have a choice. So there is in no circumstances can you plead that I don't have a choice, because even if somebody is threatening you at gunpoint to do something, you still have a choice whether to accede to what they are saying or die. So that is the kind of choice you always have. So there is no situation under which we can say that because they did this, I had to do this. No, because they did that, I chose to do this, and I didn't choose to react otherwise. Okay, so we need to take care of our not only our actions but also our reactions, because our reactions are also actions and we have to bear the burden of those reactions. You see people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, or even younger people these days are suffering from mental health issues, and they are not feeling okay inside. Sometimes you feel depressed or anxious or something else. Now, even if they when they go and visit the psychologist, or they come to a spiritual place like this, they will always say this happened in childhood and that happened in adulthood, and this person did this to me and so I reacted this way. All that is fine, but the fact is you are suffering. So if you are suffering, how do I believe you are innocent? Because the innocent never suffer. So They did it, but you also reacted to what they did. That is why you are not suffering for what they did to you. You are suffering for how you reacted to what they did to you. So, this is why Baba is teaching us to take complete responsibility and control of our actions. Whether if even if you live in a situation, for example, now there is the coronavirus. So, do you tell yourself that because there is the virus, I will have to fall ill? No, you take your precaution, right? You take your measures not to fall ill. So it is similar in case of human behavior. So even if somebody is difficult or somebody behaves erratically or unpredictably or rudely or any which way, you have to take your precaution how to deal with this kind of a situation or this kind of a behavior. And just like you raise your immunity when you are faced with the coronavirus, which is more of a physical kind, so you also raise your spiritual or emotional immunity when you are faced with people who appear difficult to you. So when we are practicing, making these practices of being detached from the body and understanding that I have a choice and I am peace, so I can respond from my place and I can be sure about my nature and act according to my nature. These practices will help you and enable you to not react but proactively act in every situation. All right, so this is what detachment from the body and from the sense organs does to you. Because right now all our sense organs are very intimately connected with the mind. So you see something, hear something, and it has a direct impact on the mind. So when you practice this, I am a soul separate from the body, and I have a mind, and the body has organs, the message is coming from the body. But I, the soul, choose what plays on in my mind. If you engage in this practice, then your choice about what you want to play on your mind gets activated. All right, so this is something about every day we get questions about how other people are torturing us and other people are making our life hell. So this is about that. Now, today I want to talk about, I have sent you a picture of Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar. So, you know that God is always upheld as the generator, operator, and destroyer. So, God stands for generator, operator, and destroyer. So, when we say, and in Hindi also we say, Ishwar sthapana, palna, or vinash karte hain. So now, earlier we used to think that God creates the world, but now we know that God doesn't create the world because everything in this world is eternal. This is an eternal play. But God creates Satyug at the end of Kalyug, because from Satyug to Kalyug we create it on our own. So we are enough. But from Kalyug to Satyug we need God, because we cannot uplift our consciousness on our own. We cannot know what we don't know. We cannot feel what we have forgotten how to feel. So God has to come and pull us again from this to that place. So this is why we need God, and God is basically a catalyst. So just like in a chemical reaction, you use a catalyst which brings about that reaction, but then the catalyst remains unchanged. So similarly, if you look at the description of God in religion, there are two things which are said about God. One is God is Karan Karavan Har, which means he does everything. Okay, but then it is also said he's akarta abhokta, which means he doesn't do anything and he doesn't reap any sorrow or happiness out of it. So now, how do these two things reconcile? It is because God comes, speaks through the mouth of Brahma Baba, and gives us all the knowledge that is there in him, gives us the power, gives us the love we need to perform these actions, but he himself doesn't do anything. So he makes us do, but he doesn't do anything. So he's akarta abhokta. So he makes us do is his action. Okay, so because he does it this way, this is why he doesn't do anything. He only, just like, if I'm giving you the class and you are doing it, so it is your karma, right? So I'm not doing anything. You are doing your karma. So this is how it goes. So Baba also comes, shares what is there in his mind, but he doesn't do anything for you. And if you look at this in this thing, it is mentioned in the Gita that Arjun and Duryodhan, both came to Sri Krishna. So Sri Krishna is the human form in which God is depicted in the Gita, but God is a point of light, and it is said that both parties, the Kauravas and the Pandavas, so represented by Arjun and Sri Krishna, came to God, and Arjun and Duryodhan came to Sri Krishna, and then Sri Krishna first offered Duryodhan that you take whatever you want, and he said, so I give you choices. You take my whole army, you take all the powers that I have, you take all the skills that I have, but you take all of that, and but I will not go with you. You take all my powers, all my weapons, all my army, and you can win the battle, or you can have me. But the condition is, if you take me, I will not fight for you. I will only show you the path. So then Duryodhan said, what will I do with you if you don't fight for me? So you give me all the weapons and all the powers and the army, so that will be good enough. And he took that and went away. And then Arjun said, oh God, you come with me, and if you are with me and if you are directing me, then I will do everything as per your directions. And your directions are so powerful that this will ensure that I win. Because no side where you are giving directions can ever lose. So this is how Sri Krishna went with Arjun. And he didn't fight, he only gave directions. And if you see this word Shrimat, so Shrimat means the directions given by the Supreme. So that is why Gita is called Shrimat Bhagwanuvach. So the directions given by the Supreme in the voice of God. So that is Shrimat Bhagwanuvach. So Baba tells us that this episode didn't happen in Dwapar Yuga. This episode is going on right now. And Shiv Baba has taken the Rath of Brahma Baba, and he is giving us Arjun. So you are the Arjun he is talking to, and he is giving you the directions which are supreme in nature. And God tells you, I will not fight for you, but I will give you all the directions and let you know where you went wrong and what you can make right to solve your own issues and fight your own battles. Right? So when you came to the class, probably in the third or fourth session, I told you very clearly that here is the problem, here is God, and here you are. So God will not come and solve your problem. You have to leave the problem, go to God, take power, and then solve your problem. So this is precisely where you are given this choice about whether you want God to solve your problems or you want to take his directions and solve your problems on your own. So you chose to be Arjun and not Duryodhan when you stayed after that session. Okay, so this is how the choice is given. So, whenever we hear something in the scriptures, it looks very fascinating. And if you look at history, the word history is very interesting, that it is his story. Okay, history is his story. So when you're listening to somebody's story, it is very interesting and fascinating, but then you don't basically identify with anybody's story, because it is his story. You listen to that story and you forget it, you enjoy and you forget. But you have to understand that history is not history, it is my story. And right now, all that you heard in history or mythology is happening with you. Okay, so this is your story. Whatever you read in the Gita is happening right now to you. And when it happens to us, it looks ordinary. When it happens to other people, it looks extraordinary. So I always wonder, you see, when you read about the freedom struggle, so you read about Bhagat Singh and you read about other people, and then I wonder whether Bhagat Singh felt like Bhagat Singh or we only felt Bhagat Singh was Bhagat Singh. So when you read somebody's story, then you glorify them and you feel that it was something that there was something great going on at that time, and the way it is recapitulated, you feel yes, something extraordinary was happening. But if you look at the people who were there during the freedom struggle, they were living life. It was a day to day life for them, and in that day to day life, they made some wise choices and they created some great attitudes. And it is all about day to day choices and the attitude and the perspective you hold. And when that is great, you don't probably feel very great about yourselves, but great things happen through you. And then you feel great about yourself later on when you read about yourself. So sometimes I have this question that I should interview some people and ask them whether their life, when it was penned down or depicted, looked greater than they felt when it was happening. So now, if you ask other people like this Geeta Fogart ji, who is celebrated so much, if you ask her, her life was just life, right? It was a child growing up and training herself and all of that. But then later on, she might have felt really great about the life she lived. So only in retrospect, something looks great. But otherwise, it is day to day living. So today also, it looks ordinary that God has come and He is choosing you and He is talking to you. But how extraordinary could it be? Would there be sparks flying, or would something extraordinary happen? So everything extraordinary happens in a very ordinary way. And you need to have a sense of what's going on in order to feel great about it. So if you just sit and think about it, it is a very great thing that has happened, that in the lockdown you came to know yourself and you came to know God, and you are learning this thing about yourself and how to tame your senses and how to connect with Shiv Baba. But then only when you sit down and reflect on it does it look like that. Okay, so this is something I don't want you to miss, this whole extraordinary event, because I always feel that all special events are missed when we are not in the consciousness that something extraordinary is happening. So many people miss their marriages. So they got married and it all happened so suddenly. And then they look at other people's marriages and they feel, okay, I got married in a hurry. I should have paid more attention to it. And then they want to do it again, but they can't do it again. Or, a child was born and then they look at a child being born on television and they feel, okay, this great event happened in my life and I went into postpartum depression. I didn't even enjoy how my child was born and how I felt when he was born. So this is what happens. So don't miss. We might have missed so many great events in our life, so many life changing events, but then don't miss this, because this is the best thing that has happened to you. And I also want to here talk about one thing, which is, when you want to learn how a light bulb operates, you go to 4 years of engineering. Or you want to know how many bones your body has and how they are set and how to move them around. So you go to a medical school and spend so many years there and train yourself about that. But when it comes to spiritual matters, we are all very much in a hurry. And we feel, okay, I need to spend 4 years to know about a light bulb, and about my body, I need probably 5 or 7 years. But then about myself, I don't need to spend time. It should be very quick. And if I don't understand something about the spiritual dimension, probably they are lying about it. Because if I don't understand something in the class of physics or biology, then probably I need to put in more effort. But if I don't understand something in the spiritual session, then probably the teacher is wrong, or probably they are just speaking something which makes no sense. So it doesn't work like that. So when you are trying to learn something which has stayed beyond human comprehension for so long, you need to be very silent, go into subtlety, and have a lot of patience and perseverance. Spiritual matters have a way of revealing themselves to you only when you silently dwell on them. And it takes years, it is not a one day thing. And I tell you, I have been practicing for around 12, 13 years now. And every year I'm growing. So the best part is, you always learn something new. And also, there is no place where you don't learn. So you are learning every second, and then you have not learned enough at any point. So it's not that you are not growing. So it's not like you will reach somewhere and then feel it. You will feel it every day. Every day you will have an experience that, yes, I am growing. But then you also know there is so much yet to know, or there is so much yet to experience. So this is a very interesting journey, but you have to persevere. It's not like it happens at the drop of a hat, or you just understand everything right away when it is said. It doesn't happen like that. And usually, with this thing about whether everything is predestined or there is karma, so these are very deep matters, and you don't get answers to these questions right away. Okay, so when you just reflect on whatever is being said in silence, revisit them often, and you try to orient your mind towards that ocean of peace, ocean of knowledge, then he gives you certain understanding and a certain awareness which is beyond even. When you are being introduced to the source, you have to spend some moments in silence these days, so that you also get your answers and come to know whatever you wanted to know until now. Okay, so this is something. Now, about God being the generator, operator, and destroyer, I want to talk about what I touched upon yesterday. So, why Brahma? Okay, so why this particular person and not you or me, or whether rather you and me in a different way, but then he in a different way? So, why did God choose to enter Brahma Baba? Now, when we talked about the soul, I told you every soul is unique. Yes, and we are not equal. So I will try to explain this with an analogy, and that analogy is that of a CD. So we have all seen CDs, the CDs that you put into the player and they play. Now, if you go to a CD shop, and how do you recognize the CD? How do you recognize this CD belongs to this? So this CD has this piece of music, and that CD has that piece of music. How do you come to know that? By the cover, right? So because it is written on the cover that these are the songs that are there in the CD, so you recognize the CD by the cover. Now, if the covers are all mixed up, okay, so then how do you recognize the CD? Only when you put it into the player and it plays do you know that this is this CD. And until it plays all the songs that are there in it, you don't know which CD it is. Right? Now, they all look alike. So that basic design is the same. But the recording is different. And the recording could be different, like no two songs match in two CDs. This could be a possibility. Or one or two songs match and others don't match. This could also be a possibility. So now, if you project this analogy to the human world, so we are all also CDs. So every soul is like a CD. So we are all made up of the same elements. We look the same. So if we are out of bodies and anybody looks at us, we look the same. We are made of the same element. But then the recording in each soul is different. And we are all pre-recorded souls. Okay, so we are all pre-recorded. All right, so you are not you are playing today, but then the recording in you is pre-recorded. Now you see, we always feel that I'm doing something right now. But have you come across some incidents where, like mostly we think and then we act, and we are aware that I'm doing this. But then there are some incidents where you have to outperform yourself. And you don't think that what is being expected can be delivered by you. But then you do it, and later you think, oh my God, did I do it? Was I capable of doing this? So, have you felt this way? So, think about such incidents where you have shocked yourself by your own behavior. For example, someday you had to catch a flight and there was an announcement and you got late and you ran like anything. And when you sat on the flight, you thought, oh my God, I could run so fast. I didn't know I could run so fast. Or there are 50 guests coming over and you didn't know you could move your hands so fast and cook so much, but then you did. And later you think, I could actually arrange so much of food for everybody. Or there is a task in the office which you never think you could finish by deadline, but then that happens. And then you think, did I really do it? So these kinds of incidents come to you, and they only come to you when you are not limited by your thought that I can't do it. So sometimes, we put a limit to ourselves by saying, no, this is not possible on my part and I can't do it. But if you just say, Hanji, if this is given to me, I will do it, then you will come to know many things about yourselves which your sane mind doesn't know about you. Are you following what I'm saying? Yes. Does this sound familiar to you? So in Gyan, we say Hanji ka part. Hanji. So anybody who is able to say Hanji will get to know aspects about himself or herself which were earlier unknown to them. And I will tell you who Mama was, but Mama used to say, जो सेवा देगा वो शक्ति भी देगा. So the one who has given me this seva, the one who has given me this task, will also give me the power to do this task. And when you go by this philosophy, then what happens is, when you get something and you feel you are not equipped enough to do it, and you call upon your inner power that, okay, if this task is given to me, then I have the abilities, and let me access the abilities which I don't know are there in me. So you have abilities, you have powers which you know are there in you, and there are abilities and powers which you are not acquainted with, but they are still there in you. And sometimes you are able to access them when you surrender, or you think that if this task is given to me, then I can do it. Okay, so I will tell you one thing. I had a lot of stage fright. So I couldn't stand on the stage. So as soon as I went to the stage, I forgot all my lines. But there was an occasion when I had to stand on stage and do stuff because there was no way out. So somebody couldn't be on time, so I had to fill in for that person. And when I had to do it, and then I surrendered, and I didn't create a thought that whether I'll be able to do it or not be able to do it. And I said, Mama says, Jo seva dega, wo Shakti bhi dega. So I thought, okay, now Baba has given me this seva, so he will give me the power, and let me just do it. So I overcame all my limitations, and that is when my journey as a speaker started. So, this is what I am trying to tell you when we say that there is a lot inside us which is pre-recorded, but we are probably not able to access it because of body consciousness. So, there is a lot of body consciousness. So, you think you are limited by your body, you think you are limited by your finances. So, you never think beyond what you think is your limitation. So if you want a car, so you never think you never visualize yourself having that car because you think I can't afford that car. But if you can think you have that car, then probably you will come to that place of affordability. But the thing is, we think that if I can afford, I should think. Right. So this is the problem. We don't believe in ourselves that we are limited by our body consciousness. Our ideas of I can do this, I can't do this, or this is my ability, this is my USP, I can't do more than this. All this is there. So you have a pre-recorded part, and I would not suggest you to go into desires for this. So if you only think about desires, then probably you will give in to your desires and create a lot of disappointment. But if you go by this thing that when you are presented with a situation, so whenever you are presented with a situation or an opportunity, then this is a perfect indicator that you have the capacity to encash this opportunity or deal with this situation. If you didn't have that capacity, that situation will never present to you. If you are sitting on the one edge of a stream, and you have to go to the other side and there is no other way to cross it, and you know that you cannot jump that high, and you are in this situation, then you should know that you will not be in that situation unless you have the capacity to jump that high and go to that side. So I would not recommend that you think that the desires that I create, I have the capacity to fulfill them. Probably, yes, sometimes that is also true, that desires that you create, whatever comes to your mind, you have the capacity to fulfill that also. But on but for sure, I can tell you this, that if you are in a situation which is difficult, or there is an opportunity which is presenting itself to you, then it is not out of coincidence or chance that that is presenting itself to you. You have the capacity to do it. That is why it is presenting itself to you. So any situation cannot ask of you something that you are not capable of. All right. So if any situation or opportunity is expecting you of something, then you are definitely capable of doing it, because you are never in the wrong place or at the wrong time. You are always at the right place at the right time. And when you trust this thing, you know that I can do it. This is why it is there in front of me. All right. So we all have a pre-recorded part, and we all have a recording. And if you trust that recording, that that recording and the situation outside is in complete synchronization. So you have that recording. That is why this situation is presenting itself to you. And if you just free yourself from that body consciousness and that limitation, then you can access what is there in you and deal with what is outside. Does that make sense? How many got it, whatever I was trying to say? Okay, so, and others, do you have a doubt? If you have a doubt or question, you can ask me. Okay, so this is how it works. Now, this brings us to another law, which is, so every soul has a pre-recorded script. So you are not an empty CD, you are a recorded CD. Now, this whole CD's record is rotating, right? I told you that it is a cycle. So just like if the CD is on autoplay mode, then after it finishes the whole playlist, then it repeats it. It starts repeating, right? So you, the CD, have finished a whole playlist and you're coming towards the end. So now it is time for you to start playing the original songs, the songs which played in the original phases, and you are moving towards that. So now those songs are also there in you. So you are playing your Kaliyugi role right now, and you are doing all that you are doing in Kaliyug, but you have that whole recording of how you were in Satyug and how you were in Treta Yug and how you were in Dwapar Yug, and you can access that whole role that is preset inside you. Now you see, there is a law that anybody can't learn what they don't already know. Because when you, the CD, is faced with a situation, then you access the song that is already there in you. You don't learn a new song. You start accessing the song that is already recorded in you. All right, so you can't play a song which is not already pre recorded in you. So now, if I tell you about Satyug and I tell you about a perfect world, then how many can conceive of that world? So, not everybody on the planet can think of or have an idea about a world where there is no ego, no anger, no attachment, no greed, and no lust. So, can you, in your imagination, conceive of that world? How many of you can conceive of that world in your imagination? No, you can't. Okay. So if you can't imagine that world, then why are you unhappy with this world? What are you comparing it with? If you can't imagine that world, you will always be happy with this world because you are comparing it with that world. Okay, so if you are not that soul and if you can't imagine that world, you will never come and attend a spiritual class because you will be happy with this world. Okay, so you are all imagining an idea of life that is different from the present reality. And in the present reality, there is ego, there is lust, there is anger, there is. So don't you feel disturbed by the amount of lust there is in this world? Does it not bother you how people are indiscriminately harming other people just to quench their desire for lust or sexual gratification? It is very disturbing and alarming. So you understand that you fail to understand how somebody could be driven so much with lust, and sometimes you feel very hateful towards this whole idea of lust because of that. So this is where you know that you can visualize a world without lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. Okay, so otherwise you will find this world very comfortable and you will find nothing wrong with this world. All right, so we all can imagine that because we have seen that, we have been there. And if you have not been there, you will not find this world uncomfortable or disturbing. So, how many people around you do you know who find this whole scheme of things very comfortable? There are people who are not at all disturbed, not at all in discomfort about how things are right now, and they are fine. They are not stressed about it, they are not unhappy about it, they are very fine. They are only drinking their lives off and they do not care about anything going around them. So that is that those people do not have an idea about what life was or what life could be, because as pointed out earlier, 2 billion souls were there on this planet 100 years back. So 2 billion to 8 billion, so those 6 billion souls around you have no idea about how life was before 100 years. Okay, and if you just take it a little further back, then many people, probably majority, 99% of the people do not have an idea about what the perfect state of affairs was. And because you were there in that world and you belong there and you've seen that, that is why when you come here, you feel uncomfortable with the state of affairs. That is why I told you that, gave you that example of the princess with the pea under the mattress. So you feel uncomfortable because you have been in that perfect world. So now do you understand why all this makes sense to you and why you want to come to a place of love and peace. And even if, and you people nod when I say, even if somebody abuses you, you should stay peaceful, because you understand the importance of peace, which most people on the planet don't understand. You understand that peace is more important than ego, and you are those people who carry that memory. So you are not learning something, you are only recalling what is already there in you. So you are already a pre-recorded CD. You cannot play any song that is not pre-recorded in you. All right. So, and you should know that your kind of souls are only 33 crores in number in this whole world. That is why you used to say 33 koti Devi Devatai. So there are 33 crores deity souls on this planet, souls that have been in the perfect world, in the state of highest consciousness. You are one of them, and there are 33 crores like you on this planet who are right now playing a different song, but who have the Satyugi song recorded in them. And what we are doing is, we are trying to play that song, Satyugi song, for you, so that you recall and come back to that consciousness. So God is not making you something, God is only reminding you of who you are. Okay? And if somebody is not a Satyugi soul, this idea will never appeal to them. All right? So this is how it goes. So I will, who is Vishnu? I will talk about Vishnu, but right now I want you to appreciate this thing, that you are that soul who belong to the deity religion. That is why God is coming and creating you again, or recreating you. So this is not creation, this is recreation. Okay. Then another thing is, who is Brahma? So just like you and I are amongst those 33 crores, so there is a first soul also in Satyug, right? So there is a number 1 also, and then there are up to 33 crores. So the first one in Satyug, who is the king of Satyug, is Sri Narayan. So when you talk about Vishnu, it is the combined form of Sri Lakshmi and Sri Narayan. Now that Narayan soul is also here, and we are also here. Now that Narayan soul is the same as the soul of Brahma. So the Brahma Baba is the one who was Sri Narayan in his first birth. That is why when you read the Satya Narayan ki Katha, you say that anybody who reads this Katha will become Narse Narayan. So you have also, in that Satya Narayan ki Katha, it is mentioned that there is a process by which you become Narse Narayan. But it is not through that Katha, because in that Katha there is no Katha, there is only praise of the Katha. So what is that Katha? What is that story? When you come to know, then you move from being ordinary to Narayan. So Brahma Baba is the Narayan soul, and we are the deity soul, and that is why Brahma Baba has the perfect recording in him. So when Shiv Baba speaks to him, then he gets it totally, because he had become the total embodiment of God's teachings. Does it make sense? Okay, so you are also a deity soul. So start accessing that part of you which is divine. All right, I will leave you with this. This is too much food for thought, so you digest it for tomorrow, and then we will meet day after tomorrow on Monday, and then we will discuss more on this, and you will come to know all about Vishnu. And so you know that first Narayan soul is Brahma Baba, and first Lakshmi soul is Mama. So the one I was mentioning earlier, and Sri Vishnu is the combined form of Sri Lakshmi, Sri Narayan, Because if you see Vishnu, the depiction of Vishnu, it has four hands. Now, nobody can move with four hands and do things perfectly with four hands. So, it is a symbolic form where it is the combination of two people. So, that is why both the hands are joined together and shown. And there is a similar picture in Bhakti, which is the Mahalakshmi form, where Mahalakshmi also has four hands. So the combined form of Lakshmi Narayan, where Narayan is in the front, is the Vishnu form, and the combined form of Sri Lakshmi Sri Narayan, where Lakshmi ji is in the front, is the Mahalakshmi form. Got it? All right, so we will cover more on Monday, because even if I cover it, it will make no sense now. So today's mind is exhausted. Okay, so we can't do more than this in one session. Who wrote these holy books? We wrote these holy books accessing our memory when we came down in Dwapar Yuga. So, okay, so you listen to this Gita Gyan now, you become a deity, and then Satyug, Treta Yug, you are a deity. So you don't need any holy books. Consciousness, you create these holy books through by your own memory, because they are written by memory, right? So you access what you know, and then you write these down so that they can guide you later. Just like, a person who has memory loss, what he does is he writes down all that he knows so that his writing can guide him when he forgets it. So these holy books are like that. Why only one Brahma if Shiv Baba can come to many persons so as to spread his word? No, so he is coming, right? He only entered one, but then he is coming to you, me, and several other people, all the 33 crores he is coming to, so that we can spread the word. So he took that body because he didn't have to enter everybody's body and speak. So he gave the message through one body. And I will also tell you, it is not confined to one body. So Shiv Baba also took more than one body. Okay, so when Brahma Baba left the body, Shiv Baba continued to come in Dadi Gulzar's body. And while Brahma Baba was there also, Shiv Baba came in 2 or 3 bodies. When Brahma Baba had to name Brahma Baba as Brahma, he didn't take his body and name him, because it would look very odd if he named him in his body itself. So there was a sister who was called Pihu, and he came in her body, and then he named Brahma Baba Brahma Baba. So these roles have been going on, and it is not that Shiv Baba came in only one body. And about Dadi Gulzar, so in Dadi Gulzar's body, Shiv Baba has been descending from 1969 to up to 2017-18. All right, so Brahma Baba took more than one body also. Shiv Baba took more than one body also. Okay. So that day you were going to tell us something about career. Is there anything we should know or keep in mind? I will tell you, okay? If we are pre-recorded, then how can we perform ourselves? Because just like the CD plays what is inside it, so you are enacting what is already there in you, right? And this is why when somebody asks somebody to change, it is so difficult, because they are enacting their pre-recorded part. Okay, so okay, but some souls wasn't Satyug. So we were all in Satyug, and now Satyug is not there, because Satyug is a time phenomena. So when there is Satyug, there is no Kalyug. So all the Satyugi souls are right now here, and you are one of them. This is why, don't you feel you are a little different from everyone around you? I don't know. I always felt while growing up that why is it that these things make so much of sense to me and they don't make sense to other people? Why can't we just choose love and peace instead of this whole ego and greed and hankering after so many other things? So we are all Satyugi souls, and we get a glimpse of that also. Yes, we do feel uncomfortable in present situation, and I feel even 30, 35 years old world was better. That is true. You were to tell us about special souls. So you are a special soul. This is what I said, okay? So 33 crore souls are special souls, souls which carry the blueprint of Satyug in them, and you are one of them. Who is Vishnu? Okay. Vishnu Shankar are mythological characters, then who Brahma is? Brahma's chapter was done yesterday. Shrikant bhai, you revisit that lesson we did yesterday. So it's there on YouTube and you revisit it, you will come to know. And Brahma is this person in Kali Yuga who Shiv Baba enters and starts this process of creation of Satyugi consciousness. Okay. Didi does today's class will this class is also on YouTube. Is it okay if we meditate by lying down on the bed before we go to sleep? So, when you lie down on the bed, you will not get sleep. But when you think of meditating, you will not meditate, you will sleep. So, so you sit, meditate, and then sleep. So I used to do this when I used to study, and then I used to do this when I meditated, and then I stopped doing it that way, and then I sat and meditated and then slept. Brahmaji is also shown in five faces. What does it mean? I will tell you this. It is a very good question. Okay. It's not five, it is three actually. This way, and this way. So you can see in all three directions. So earlier you used to see only in the present, but now you know the future, you know the past, you know who you were and you know who you are going to be. So that is Trinetri Trikaldarshi. Okay, so you are able to see the three aspects of time. That is why Brahma Baba is shown like that. If we are pre-recorded, then why we are playing Kaliyugi song? Because this is also there in the recording. Okay, so in Kaliyug also we have this recording also, just like a CD can have all the songs, classical music and jazz together. So you have all of it. That is why you don't need to be judgmental about your Kaliyugi part. So this is also there. So you are not Kalyugi because you are wrong. You are Kalyugi by design also. So you were in Satyug, you are now in Kalyug, and there is nothing wrong in being in this state also. It's just that now it's time to shift. So you're shifting. That's it. Earlier you were in Kalyug, now you are not in Kalyug. You are on that boat which is going to Satyug. Okay, so now it is time to shift. So just like night is good, day is also good, and then there is a time when the night shifts into the day, so then everything gets lit up. Okay, so why is Kalyug recorded if it is not right? So I told you it is not right or wrong. So this is the first thing that we have to understand. Nothing is right or wrong. It is according to time that these things happen. So we are in Kalyug by design. We were in Satyug by design. And now the design is to shift from Kalyug to Satyug. So you don't have to hate yourself for being in Kalyug, because we couldn't help being in Kalyug also. So it is not right or wrong. Just like, there is darkness and there is light. Which one is right and which is wrong? It is just darkness, just right, light. So all these connotations that we assign, right, wrong, good, bad, are human creation. And if you remember in the chapter of the soul, I gave you one session on this. Who decided one is less than two and two is greater than one, or night is better than darkness, or children are foolish and older people are wise? So children are children, elder people are elder people, night is night, day is day. There is nothing wrong or right or good or bad about them. So this is something that we need to keep in mind. All right. Om Shanti. Chaliye, let's meditate. Just relax yourself. and observe that today you have come to know the whole of eternity. You have come to know the whole of yourself. I'm much bigger, much purer, much more divine than I think I am right now. See yourself. You are that same pure divine soul who you worship in the temples. Invoke that divinity from within. As you do that, a calmness, a serenity is experienced by every cell of your body. I am that divine soul. A gentle smile spreads on your face. All the stress is gone. There is no worry, there is no fear. I'm an empowered, pure, divine soul. I'm bigger than any circumstance, any situation that is presented to me. Just sit in this feeling for some time. Om Shanti.